Welcome back to another review. Today we're looking at something a little bit different. It is an automotive multimeter from BlueDriver. Cool multimeter, and you'll see what I mean shortly. Yeah, this thing has a lot of functionality. Wow. So stay tuned, fasten your seatbelts. I'm opening up the garage door. Here we go. Let's start things off by seeing what you get in the bag. First off, these HP test leads. And they are obviously not silicone, but you know what? They're not bad, and they're quite long. They're probably about 4 feet, 4.5 feet. So really good. You want length when you are underneath that car or around the engine. So that's a good sign. Good full-size leads. Feel good in the hand. And rating-wise, they have a Cat 3 1000 volt 20 amp rating. So yeah, BlueDriver has you covered. Take a look at the shroud. Looking good, nice and long. All the cat safety is there. And fit and finish wise, nice and solid, nice and tight. We have a automotive multimeter user manual. That's right. Now this is one really brief manual. It's only like 2 or 3 pages. The bare minimum, if you have any problems or issues, BlueDriver wants you to give them a call. They've got a 1-866 number here, and I actually have tried calling their support, and it's not that bad. So yeah, give them a shout if you need any help, and they're there. You have a couple of nice crocodile leads over here. Feel good, they're oversized, and yeah, nice quality. No slippage going on. Last but not least, we have the thermocouple or thermoprobe, which does attach directly to the meter. Now, once again, you'll find out that this meter, you do not need a thermocouple for checking ambient temperature. If you want to check something more finite, be it liquid or fire or a specific surface, then yes, you're going to want to use this. But for general ambient temperature, not required. Taking a close-up view of the selector switch on the BlueDriver Automotive Multimeter. As you can see, there is a lot of settings, a lot of functionality here. Let's go through them. Starting off, it's voltage AC/DC, and when you initially turn it into the voltage mode, it does default to DC. Next up, we have 4 different settings: continuity, diode, resistance, and capacitance. Next up is frequency, up to 10 megahertz. Temperatures next, Celsius and Fahrenheit. Next up is the dwell setting for measuring the angle of breaker points. What would an automotive multimeter be without an RPM setting? This one's got 2 of them. 10 times RPM is next, 60 to 12,000 RPM. If you go over 9,000 RPM, use the times 10 RPM function. Next up, we have the MS Pulse feature. Duty cycle. Milliamp mode, up to 600 milliamps. Current AC/DC, up to 20 amps. Finally, for measuring high current, use the current clamp. When I first saw this meter, I thought, oh wow, it even has an HFE or transistor tester on top, right there. No, it's not a transistor tester. It is strictly there for looks. That is where the speaker resonates from. So lots of functionality with the BlueDriver Automotive Multimeter. True RMS, auto power off, auto backlight. It's going to be an interesting review. Because it's an automotive multimeter, you do have the 4 or 2 stroke engine switch selector. So you would just hit the range switch here, and as you can see, it goes between 2 and 4 stroke. Another nice feature with the BlueDriver is the fact that, like the HP that it's fashioned after, it has a really customizable standing bail. So as you can see, you can pretty well have it almost at any angle you want. You can even have it completely up like that, and you can just literally hang it So very customizable in terms of how you want to put that standing bail. Meter itself, it's fairly large. Feels okay. Obviously it's not a fluke, but this is going to be seeing a lot of time around the automotive garages, shops, what have you. So you definitely want to have a meter that's going to be able to take the bumps and grinds that come with the everyday hazards of being in a garage. So I think this meter is pretty well going to stand the test of time. Seems fairly well made. Has a nice magnet here in the back, and yeah, so far so good. First up, we're going to do some voltage testing. As you can see, I've got the whole peak 760C beside the BlueDriver. Now, right from the get-go, what do you notice? Yeah, that display is so much more nicer on the 760C. Too bad BlueDriver couldn't incorporate the same looking display, because yeah, the one on the left is absolutely gorgeous. The other nice thing about the 760 is, of course, the fact that the backlight is strictly user intervention. So if I don't want that backlight on, I have the option to turn it off. If I want it on, I press the on button. I don't have that simple functionality with the BlueDriver, something that I think is sorely missing. It's great that it does have the auto backlight that will come on when the lights go dim, but it's always nice to be able to have a manual override. All right, let's start that voltage test and see how they do. Already the voltage test. Here we go. DC current power supply showing us 1.4 volts. 1.4 for the whole peak and 1.45 for the BlueDriver. Now remember, the whole peak is non-auto ranging, where the BlueDriver is. Let's take it up to 7 volts even. 7.04 for the HP 760 and 7.09 for the BlueDriver. Let's take it up higher to 17.6 volts. 17.66 for the HP, 17.77 for the BlueDriver. We're going to max it out now at 31.4 volts. Now, as you can see, we are over limit, so we're going to switch dial on the HP, and there we are, 31 volts. Now, we do have low resolution as well on this HP, but 31 volts, fluttering back and forth, and 31.65. Awesome, spot on for the BlueDriver. So yeah, there you have it. I'm definitely going to give the voltage test to the BlueDriver. Winner. Good job. Now, neither of these meters has a scale or a bar graph. That is really too bad. There you go. Next up, it's diode testing. Let's just see how good or not so good the BlueDriver does at lighting up these LEDs. I'm going to start off with the green LED, and yes, it is illuminated, and we do have a forward voltage drop. Good stuff. Next, the yellow, the same thing, but this time, oh no, there it is, a little slow, but we are getting the forward voltage drop as well, 1.85 volts. Let's go over to the red LED. No problems there, and there's the voltage drop. So that voltage drop, there's about a 2-second delay or so before that actually appears. Going up to the blue LED, and we're going to get a forward voltage drop indication. No, we're not, but it is able to light it up. Finally, the white LED. And there you go. We have illumination. Let me just put that on there again. Yeah. Finally, the white LED. And no problem lighting up that as well. Once again, though, we have no forward voltage drop indicator. Checking out the output voltage in diode mode, the BlueDriver puts out a solid 3.25 volts. Plenty of voltage to light up most LEDs. Now, this meter is capable of 60 mega ohms as the maximum in the resistance range. We're going to start off here with a 22 mega ohm resistor. Let's see how well it does. And fairly fast, 23 mega ohm, close enough. Next up is a 0.5, 5% tolerance resistor. And there we go. So yeah, not bad at all. Next up is capacitance mode, And surprisingly, the BlueDriver has a really good capacitance range. From 10 nanofarad to 100 millifarad is the resolution, or 100,000 microfarad. That's pretty darn good. So let's test it. First, we'll start off with a 47,000 microfarad or 47 millifarad cap. And let's see how fast it is. Here we go. Hey, that was definitely fast. Wow. Gotta like that. Hey, no worries there. Showing us is around 41, 42 millifarad. 44. And I think it's settled. Excellent. Very fast. Very nice. Next up, we've got the bad boy 100,000 microfarad or 100 millifarad. Here we go. Wow, look at that. That was fast. Awesome. Spot on. Hey, I'm impressed. Now we'll try the low end of the range as well. It did say 10 nanofarad. This is a 4.3 nanofarad. Let's give it a try. Spot on, 4.156 nanofarad. So better than spec, very impressive. You got it, continuity time, folks. Here we go. These are the stock HP leads. See how good they are. Wow, that's really loud. Does not latch every time, but hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Excellent, quite impressed. Probe Masters, as always, here we go. Wow, beyond perfect. Last but not least, my new favorite set of test leads. Beauty. Now, one really cool function with this meter is the fact it has the auto backlight. And by auto, it simply goes on its own. So kind of neat, and as you can tell, you have the illuminated rotary selector switch as well. That's pretty cool. The downside to the BlueDriver with that auto light functionality. I'm in my garage right now. It's broad daylight. I've got a window on the garage door, but still it's hard to see the display because it's just not enough light. So simply what you can do, just take anything at all, stick it over that sensor, put it up a little bit here so we can actually see the meter, and voila. I'm going to hit the max min feature on the meter. So it is now flashing max min. I am going to go ahead, start the car, and this meter will record the maximum voltage and if there's any voltage drop. That's it, that's all. So start it up. Now we're going to go back and look at the meter itself. What do we see? Hit the max min. Maximum was 14.69. Minimum 10.98. So we got a good battery. Another nice feature with this meter is the fact you do have your temperature, and it does have a onboard temperature chip as well, so you don't always have to have that thermocouple plugged in. So if you want to check temperature of liquid or flames, what have you, yeah, use the thermocouple. But for just ambient temperature checking, all you have to do is put it in the temperature mode, and you can select Celsius or Fahrenheit. Already we are in milliamp mode, and we are 190 milliamps. Taking it up a notch, we're going to go up to, let's try 300 milliamps, no worries there. Go up a little bit higher, let's do 400 milliamps. What the heck, let's try it for 5. And we're showing just under 500 milliamps. So yeah, no worries about the milliamp. And once again, a really nice current milliamp rating. That's awesome. We're going to draw a test on the BlueDriver. And with the backlight disabled, it is currently pulling, thank you, it is currently pulling 4.84 milliamps. Now we'll see what happens when we turn the lights out. So almost double, it's up to 8.17 milliamps with that backlight enabled. So almost twice the current draw. And once again, with the backlight disabled, it goes back down to about 4.8 milliamps. So with that backlight disabled, you're getting around 4.84 milliamp hours. That equates to around 80 hours of battery life. That's with a regular 9-volt alkaline. With that backlight enabled, it's almost reduced by half. So you're going to get around 46, 47 hours with the backlight enabled. So there you have it. Next up is the non-contact voltage mode, or NCV. And with the BlueDriver, you simply turn the meter on, doesn't matter which select position you're in. Hold down on that NCV button and find your power source. Here we've got a typical USB cable to a smartphone. So very sensitive and very loud, and you have that visual as well as the audible indicator. Good stuff. For high current testing, you're going to put it on a clamp, and I have the Maztec MS3302 hooked up to the BlueDriver. Now, unfortunately, no can do. The BlueDriver does not recognize this clamp. So, unfortunately, you cannot do that part of the test. I did contact BlueDriver. They have not responded to me as of yet, and I will let you know what a compatible clamp is for this device as soon as I hear back. Checking out the voltage reference right now, we want to see 250 millivolts and spot on 250.5 millivolts. Next up, according to the voltage reference, 2.50 volts, and once again, no problems here for the BlueDriver, a solid 2.507. Next up, we're going to take a look at the inside and just see how good or bad the meter really is. Another really nice feature with this meter is the fact that you take out those 2 Phillips screws and you have instant access not just to the 9-volt battery itself, but also to your milliamp and your high current fuse. So I wish you would see this on more meters. That's just a really nice idea. Alrighty, without further ado, here we go. And alrighty, let's just get this 9-volt connector cap out of the well. Here we go. Okay, so first off, we'll look at the opposite side of the meter, and yeah, pretty plain Jane, no shielding. That's where the battery resides. We do have a couple of threaded inserts. Okay, well, wow, I'm a little more impressed than I was originally expecting. We have a nice big current shunt below the jack inserts over here, but look at those jack inserts. Very nice. We have that lock washer on top. They are screwed in with the Phillips screws, and they are really soldered in there well. Those are some big solder globs holding those in. So between the soldering mechanism and the screws, these guys are definitely not going anywhere. Really nice stuff. Further up in terms of input protection, we have not one but 2 PTCs, and we have a couple of metal oxide varistors over here as well, so good to see. We have 2 fuses, both ceramic. One is a 20 amp fuse and the other is a 800 milliamp fuse. So once again, really nice fuse ratings on these guys. We have some diode clamping going on over here. We have some mods down there. And generally speaking, very nice, very clean. I'm impressed. We have some soldering over just beside the milliamp fuse here. A lot of flux left over. Yeah, it could be a little bit cleaner. Here's our speaker This is the 9-volt battery insert. And I will just bring this up a little bit here. Start with the DreamTech International. This is the main IC here, the DTA 0661L. And directly below it, we have the ATM-TC1. This is the EEPROM that talks to the main IC. Over here to the left, we have the Holtec HT1621B. That is the LCD display driver. And what other goodies do we have up here? This is another microcontroller. Here we have a 74HC14. This is a hex inverting Schmidt trigger. And here is the CD4070 CMOS. So lots going on, lots of interesting dynamics to this multimeter. Something else that's really nice is the NCV on this meter. And boy, look at the size of that filament. Excellent. So that is why we have such good non-contact voltage detection, because we have a really, really nice quality designed piece of metal that goes right along the top of this meter. So it gives you a lot of sensitivity for that voltage detection. Something else worth mentioning as well is the fact that we've got not one but two piezos. I believe this one would be for the NCV, at least that's what I'm thinking, and it's got its own verbose speaker. The other one here is for the main part of the meter. So very interesting. I'm going to come back with my closing thoughts. I just got off the phone with Chris over at BlueDriver, and he informed me that at this time there is no external clamp support. So in terms of checking the current with the current clamp, it's not going to happen. It is a possible feature in the future, Chris has informed me, but at this point in time, it is not actively supported, nor is there a compatible current clamp. Closing thoughts on the BlueDriver Automotive Multimeter. Wow, you get a lot of bang for buck here, guys. This is one cool meter. Does a lot, has a lot of functionality, built fairly well, has some pretty good, decent input protection. Yeah, look at those input jacks, looking nice. I wish perhaps because it's geared around cars and automotive that it had a sealing system in place, a rubber gasket or something like that, just to keep dust and debris and oil and all that other good stuff out of the housing, but it doesn't. And hey, you know what, it's a $40, $50 meter, not a $500 meter. So they do make these at a price point. You can do a lot worse than the BlueDriver when it comes to an automotive multimeter. Hey, this is a really good deal. I'm giving the BlueDriver Automotive a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Now, I did keep this glass protection screen on for a reason. Not to make you all antsy when I'm doing the review. No, that's because this is another giveaway. Yeah, this meter will be going out to one lucky subscriber in the month of April. You've got until April 30th to leave a comment. And in that comment on this review, all I want to know is two things. What is your favorite multimeter? And how many multimeters do you presently have? So that's it, that's all. Really simple. Leave those 2 bits of information, how many multimeters you have and what's your favorite meter, in the comment section below, and you're automatically entered to win this awesome automotive multimeter. And hey, it doesn't matter if you live in Europe, India, Australia, the land down under, or Canada, or United States. Hey, you're all welcome to enter, and whoever wins, you're gonna get that meter. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Till the next time, keep on testing. Jeez, that engine is like really clean.